Imagine a force so profound it doesn't strive, struggle, or chase. It simply is. Hidden within you is a silent power, a forgotten art of drawing every blessing into your life without lifting a finger. It's not about pursuing abundance. It's about embodying it so completely that abundance has no choice but to find you. Today, you will unlock the ancient secret of how stillness becomes your greatest magnet. The Silent Magnet, written and published by Book Library. Introduction. Beneath the surface of your thoughts, beyond the noise of ambition and doubt, there hums an ancient force, silent, steady, and immeasurably powerful. It does not shout for your attention. It simply is, like the ocean's pull on the moon, unseen but undeniable. This hidden pulse moves through all things, weaving success with serenity, abundance with authenticity, and fulfillment with the quiet certainty that life was never meant to be chased, it was meant to be received. You have felt its presence before, though you may not have recognized it. In those rare moments when events seem to conspire in your favor without explanation, when unseen hands appear to open doors before you even reach them, when life flows so effortlessly it feels as if you're dancing with destiny itself. This is not coincidence. It is the invisible magnetism of being, a sacred current remembered by the few who chose resonance over resistance. The truths held within these pages are not lessons in striving harder. They are invitations to listen deeper, to reawaken a knowing that never left you, only fell silent beneath the weight of modern noise. The true magnet of life does not pursue, it becomes. It vibrates so purely, so authentically, that the world cannot help but respond. This book has found its way to you because a forgotten song within you is beginning to stir, a memory your soul never abandoned, only waited for you to hear again. You are not here to earn abundance. You are here to remember that you are abundance. And through stillness, not struggle, the magnetic current of your life will rise, strong enough to bend reality itself. As you journey forward, you will not be asked to become anything you are not. You will be asked only to return to the center of your being, where all that you seek is already seeking you. The path ahead is not one of striving. It is one of remembering. And in that remembering, the silent magnet awakens. Chapter 1. The Echo Beneath the Silence. In a forgotten valley where mist kissed the hills at dawn, an old traveler named Elias wandered paths few had ever seen. For years, his life was a quiet rhythm of familiar trails and sunsets, until one twilight, something unseen stirred his steps. As he bent to tie his worn boot, his fingers grazed a peculiar pebble half buried in the earth. To any other eye, it was just stone. Yet to Elias, it thrummed, faintly, steadily, like a secret heartbeat echoing from the depths of the world. Curious, he tucked it into his pocket. Over the coming days, the pebble's subtle pulse seemed to pull at his spirit, nudging him toward trails he had never dared to follow. One evening, guided by nothing but intuition, he stumbled upon a crystalline spring hidden beneath a crown of ancient trees. Its waters shimmered with a vitality that defied reason, as if the earth itself was singing. It was then Elias understood. The world does not summon us with noise. It calls us with whispers. The true currents of attraction are not chaotic storms or roaring commands. They are gentle streams moving beneath the clamor, guiding, aligning, inviting. When we chase loudly, when we push force against force, we lose the delicate thread meant to lead us. Abundance isn't something we shout for, it's something we listen for. Inside you hums a field of natural magnetism, effortless and profound, just as the earth spins and the tides move without willful striving. This magnetism grows not when you force it louder, but when you become quieter. When you dare to still yourself enough to hear your own hidden current. Consider Mira, a young woman standing between two futures. One path glittered with promises everyone praised, prestige, titles, applause. The other was a quiet calling toward a forgotten arts collective tucked away in an aging part of town. Against advice, she trusted the faint but certain tug in her chest. Within a year, that humble collective sparked a creative revolution, launching her into a life not just of wealth, but of soul-fueled purpose. The voice you're meant to follow is already speaking. Not in demands, but in nudges. Not in fear, but in the silent certainty of your own resonance. The magnetic field of your destiny does not scream. It hums. When you listen, truly listen, the path unfolds without force. Sacred practice. The heart's resonance find a quiet place where distractions fall away. Rest your right hand gently over your heart, close your eyes, and breathe naturally. For 5 minutes, do nothing but feel. The warmth beneath your palm, the rise and fall of your breath, the subtle energy stirring beneath your skin. Afterward, take a blank page and allow your hand to move, not with words, but with flowing marks, shapes, or lines. Let your spirit speak without the cage of language. Capture the silent song of your magnetic core. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to Book Library on YouTube. We bring you valuable audiobooks every week to expand your knowledge and enhance your personal growth. Subscribe now and take your learning journey to the next level. Chapter 2. The Hands That Must First Open. What if the treasure you seek isn't hidden in some distant place, but locked behind what you're still unwilling to release? True wealth, of spirit, opportunity, and abundance, doesn't arrive when you clutch harder. It appears the moment you dare to let go. In a quiet village where the river ran silver under the dawn sky, lived an old mason named Callum. For years, he carried a tarnished iron key around his neck, a key to a door that no longer existed, in a house that had long since fallen to dust. He clung to it with the belief that it symbolized his perseverance. Yet with every step, the weight of it dragged heavier against his chest. One morning, as Callum walked beyond the village limits, he stumbled upon a fork in the path. One road paved with familiar stones and fading memories, the other overgrown and wild, humming with unseen promise. At the crossroads stood a woman draped in soft gray cloth. She extended her hand, revealing not a key, but a blank mirror. "Your next home awaits," she said, her voice like wind through reeds. "But you cannot enter with your past in your hands." Callum instinctively gripped his iron key tighter. "This has always been mine," he said. The woman smiled, a sadness in her eyes. "No, it has always held you. We often think the things we clutch, old beliefs, worn-out victories, half-faded failures, are badges of honor. But in truth, they are chains disguised as trophies. Life doesn't ask for your effort to open new doors. It asks for your hands to be empty enough to turn the handle. You cannot pour the ocean into a cup already brimming with yesterday's rainwater. You must tip it out, willingly, courageously, to make space for the vastness waiting to flow in." Fresh analogies and new examples. Take Mila, a once-renowned pastry chef who refused to let go of her failing cafe, even as passion burned out and debts piled up. Her identity was fused with the bricks and tables of that place. Only when she finally closed the shutters, heartbroken but free, did she stumble into an unexpected calling, designing artisanal desserts for world-class hotels. Success hadn't abandoned her. She had simply been facing the wrong door, too burdened to turn toward the open one. Unique framework. The 3 keys of release. To unlock your hidden abundance, you must understand. Small blue diamond recognition. See what you're clinging to that no longer reflects who you are becoming. Small blue diamond gratitude. Thank the old, not for what it took from you, but for how it shaped your readiness. Small blue diamond surrender. With full heart, set it down. Free your hands. Free your future. Sacred practice. The ceremony of unburdening tonight. In a quiet place, light a single candle. Write down one attachment you are ready to surrender, whether it's a role, a memory, a belief, or a wound. Gently fold the paper and press it to your heart. Whisper a blessing of gratitude for what it taught you. Then safely burn it, letting the smoke carry it into the unseen, or bury it beneath fresh earth. Feel the hollowness it leaves, not as loss, but as sacred preparation. This is not the end. It is the clearing before the harvest. The universe does not fight your clutter to bless you. It waits for your invitation. The door is ready. The key is not found in clinging, but in releasing. What will you lay down today, so your tomorrow can finally find you? Chapter 3. The Magnetic Heart. How True Wealth Finds You. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract prosperity without chasing it, while others run toward it only to watch it slip through their fingers? It's not luck. It's not hustle. It's resonance. Wealth doesn't bow to force. It listens for the silent pulse of your energy, and it moves toward the hearts that hum in harmony with it. In a valley carpeted with wildflowers and hidden springs, there lived an elder named Rowan, a former blacksmith whose touch was once sought after by kings and wanderers alike. Rowan no longer shaped metal for weapons or tools. Instead, he had become a quiet alchemist of a different sort, a teacher of unseen forces. One afternoon, a spirited girl named Alara burst onto his humble land, dragging behind her a battered metal detector almost larger than she was. "Show me where to find treasure," she insisted, cheeks flushed with hope. Rowan chuckled warmly and placed a hand on her shoulder. "Treasure doesn't reveal itself to those who demand it," he said. "Set down your instrument. Sit. Listen. Confused but curious, Elara obeyed. Rowan knelt beside her, gathering a handful of rich earth in his palm. Gold, like all blessings, is shy, he whispered. It moves toward those who sing its song, not those who shout its name. Wealth is not a conquest. It is an invitation. It doesn't answer fists pounding on doors. It answers the quiet music played by those who already live as if abundance has found them. When your soul hums with gratitude, reverence, and openness, the currents of prosperity sense your signal and rush toward it. Imagine the universe as a great river. You do not swim upstream toward riches. You allow yourself to float with the current that brings them to your shore. Fresh analogies and new examples. Consider Jonah, a freelance artist once plagued by late payments and empty promises. For months he fought, chased, demanded, begged, and found only more scarcity. Then, one night, exhausted, he shifted his ritual. Instead of obsessing over unpaid invoices, he wrote heartfelt thank you notes to every client who had ever honored him, no matter how small the payment. He blessed his empty studio for giving him space to create. He even whispered gratitude to the worn brushes in his hand. Within weeks, a former client unexpectedly referred him to a corporate project that quadrupled his income. Not because Jonah begged louder, but because he tuned his energy to a frequency wealth could hear. The 3 frequencies of prosperity. If you wish to draw abundance into your life, you must activate 3 key frequencies. Small blue diamond appreciation. Honor every form of wealth, visible or unseen, no matter how modest. Small blue diamond respect. Treat money and opportunity as sacred guests, not slaves or saviors. Small blue diamond resonance. Align your emotions with the reality you seek, not the absence you fear. You don't pull prosperity toward you. You become the lighthouse that guides it home. Sacred practice. The ritual of financial reverence for the next 7 days. Approach every interaction with money as a sacred act. Whether you're paying a bill, tipping a waiter, or finding a coin on the sidewalk, pause. Place your hand gently over the money and whisper a blessing. Journal the experiences, not just the shifts in your finances, but the soft, thrilling shifts in your spirit. Watch as your relationship with abundance blooms from mechanical to magical. You are not chasing prosperity. You are awakening it, and it has always been listening for the song you were born to sing. What melody will you send into the universe today? Chapter 3. The Magnetic Heart. How True Wealth Finds You. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract prosperity without chasing it, while others run toward it only to watch it slip through their fingers? It's not luck. It's not hustle. It's resonance. Wealth doesn't bow to force. It listens for the silent pulse of your energy, and it moves toward the hearts that hum in harmony with it. In a valley carpeted with wildflowers and hidden springs, there lived an elder named Rowan, a former blacksmith whose touch was once sought after by kings and wanderers alike. Rowan no longer shaped metal for weapons or tools. Instead, he had become a quiet alchemist of a different sort, a teacher of unseen forces. One afternoon, a spirited girl named Elara burst onto his humble land, dragging behind her a battered metal detector almost larger than she was. "Show me where to find treasure," she insisted, cheeks flushed with hope. Rowan chuckled warmly and placed a hand on her shoulder. "Treasure doesn't reveal itself to those who demand it," he said. "Set down your instrument. Sit. Listen." Confused but curious, Elara obeyed. Rowan knelt beside her, gathering a handful of rich earth in his palm. "Gold, like all blessings, is shy," he whispered. "It moves toward those who sing its song, not those who shout its name. Wealth is not a conquest. It is an invitation. It doesn't answer fists pounding on doors. It answers the quiet music played by those who already live as if abundance has found them. When your soul hums with gratitude, reverence, and openness, the currents of prosperity sense your signal and rush toward it. Imagine the universe as a great river. You do not swim upstream toward riches. You allow yourself to float with the current that brings them to your shore. Fresh analogies and new examples. Consider Jonah, a freelance artist once plagued by late payments and empty promises. For months he fought, chased, demanded, begged, and found only more scarcity. Then, one night, exhausted, he shifted his ritual. Instead of obsessing over unpaid invoices, he wrote heartfelt thank you notes to every client who had ever honored him, no matter how small the payment. He blessed his empty studio for giving him space to create. He even whispered gratitude to the worn brushes in his hand. Within weeks, a former client unexpectedly referred him to a corporate project that quadrupled his income. Not because Jonah begged louder, but because he tuned his energy to a frequency wealth could hear. The 3 frequencies of prosperity. If you wish to draw abundance into your life, you must activate 3 key frequencies. Small blue diamond appreciation. Honor every form of wealth, visible or unseen, no matter how modest. Small blue diamond respect. Treat money and opportunity as sacred guests, not slaves or saviors. Small blue diamond resonance. Align your emotions with the reality you seek, not the absence you fear. You don't pull prosperity toward you. You become the lighthouse that guides it home. Sacred practice. The ritual of financial reverence for the next 7 days. Approach every interaction with money as a sacred act. Whether you're paying a bill, tipping a waiter, or finding a coin on the sidewalk, pause. Place your hand gently over the money and whisper a blessing. Journal the experiences, not just the shifts in your finances, but the soft, thrilling shifts in your spirit. Watch as your relationship with abundance blooms from mechanical to magical. You are not chasing prosperity. You are awakening it, and it has always been listening for the song you were born to sing. What melody will you send into the universe today? Chapter 4. The Hidden Key Within. Have you ever wondered if what you've been searching for has been with you all along, hiding in plain sight? Maybe, like many, you've spent years chasing after something external, success, love, or wealth, without realizing that the key to it all is already in your possession. This is the story of Mark, a humble craftsman who spent most of his life perfecting his skill in a workshop filled with the hum of machines and the rhythm of creation. Despite his mastery, there was something elusive that always seemed just out of reach. He had the talent, the drive, and the tools, yet still, something was missing. One rainy evening, as Mark was about to put away his tools and call it a night, his hand brushed against something unusual inside his workbench drawer. It wasn't a tool or a new project. It was a small, rusted key, old and seemingly insignificant. Mark had no memory of ever seeing it before, yet something about it called to him. He felt an urge to explore its mystery, and so he set out, unlocking an old wooden chest at the back of his workshop. Inside, he didn't find treasure or gold, but rather a collection of old letters, journals, and mementos from his ancestors, all of them telling stories of creativity, resilience, and innovation. It was in that moment that Mark realized the true treasure he had been seeking wasn't a prize to be won, but a legacy of wisdom, belief, and potential that had always resided within him. You, too, have hidden treasures inside you. The key to your success isn't some far-off prize. It's the recognition of what you already carry. Wealth, opportunity, and fulfillment are not things you need to chase or earn. They are reflections of the belief you have in your own inherent worth. So often, we go through life unaware of the untapped potential that lies within us. Much like Mark, we might overlook the quiet, powerful resources that are already woven into the fabric of our being. These hidden treasures, your unique gifts, skills, and strengths, are waiting to be unlocked when you recognize your own worth. The law of inner wealth abundance doesn't come from seeking outside of yourself. It comes from recognizing and unlocking what you've always had within. When you acknowledge your own value, the universe responds by reflecting that recognition back to you. Whether it's money, success, or deeper satisfaction, it's the natural expression of aligning with your true self. Take Emily, for example. She was an artist with a gift for painting that everyone around her recognized, but that she couldn't quite see in herself. Every stroke of her brush felt incomplete, unworthy of praise. But one day, Emily stopped looking for external validation. Instead, she chose to honor the beauty she saw in her work and, most importantly, in herself. When she shifted her mindset, her world changed. Opportunities began to find her. Invitations to art shows, commissions from collectors, and recognition from her peers. Emily's success didn't come from changing her work. It came from changing her relationship with her own worth. The universe is always in tune with the energy you put out. Your value doesn't need to be earned through hardship or struggle. It is a matter of recognizing that your worth is intrinsic and that all the abundance you seek is already moving toward you, waiting for you to claim it. Sacred practice. The awakening mirror for the next 7 days. Set aside a moment each evening to stand in front of a mirror. Look deeply into your reflection and repeat these words with absolute conviction. I am worthy of abundance. I am a treasure, not to be sought, but to be honored. Allow this truth to sink into your soul, not as something you hope for, but as something you already embody. Let this mirror practice become a daily ritual of awakening the latent power within you. Chapter 5. The Power of Inner Silence. What if I told you that the secret to unlocking your greatest potential doesn't lie in the noise of the world, but in the stillness within you? Imagine, for a moment, being caught in a fierce storm, the kind that threatens to take everything from you. The winds howl, the waves crash relentlessly against your vessel, and your instruments are useless in the chaos. For many, this would be a nightmare. But for one sailor, this storm became a moment of profound awakening. Meet Elias, a seasoned sailor who had spent his life navigating the vast and unpredictable oceans. One evening, a storm approached faster than he anticipated, and soon his boat was tossed around like a toy in the hands of a furious child. Desperate to survive, Elias clung to his knowledge of the sea, trying everything he could think of to regain control. Hours passed, and his strength waned. It wasn't until he could fight no longer, exhausted and overwhelmed, that he did something unexpected. Elias let go. In that exact moment, when he allowed himself to stop fighting the storm, something remarkable happened. The violent winds seemed to lose their force. The waves, though still high, became less chaotic. And there, in the stillness that emerged within him, Elias found clarity. The ocean, once a threatening force, now mirrored the sky above, calm and steady. With a newfound sense of peace, Elias saw the currents beneath him in a way he had never seen before. The path to safety revealed itself, guided not by force, but by a silent knowing. In the chaos of our own lives, we often do the same. We fight against the storm. We push and strain, believing that effort is the only way to achieve results. Yet, it is in the moments when we release that need to control, when we surrender, that we unlock a hidden power within. Just like the calm that settled over Elias's ship, your life can mirror the stillness that lies within you. When you cultivate inner peace, the noise of the world fades away, and you begin to see the opportunities that were always there, waiting to be noticed. The universe doesn't respond to your loudest cries or frantic desires. It responds to the quiet force of your centered being. Your emotional state acts as the lens through which you view the world. If that lens is clouded with anxiety, fear, and chaos, you'll only see obstacles. But when your mind and heart are still, the path becomes clear, and abundance flows toward you effortlessly. The magnetism of inner calm, imagine a pond at dawn, its surface as smooth as glass. As the sun rises, it casts a perfect reflection of the sky, the trees, and the clouds. But if there's a breeze, the surface ripples, distorting the image. The same is true for your life. When your mind is calm, your world reflects the beauty and abundance that surrounds you. But when your emotions are turbulent, the reflections become distorted, and you miss the very opportunities that are meant for you. This truth is universal. The stillness within attracts the best of what life has to offer. Whether it's wealth, love, or opportunity, these things aren't earned through relentless striving. They are attracted to the magnetic power of your inner peace. When you center yourself, you align with the natural flow of abundance. In a small town nestled in the hills, there lived a woman named Maria. She was a talented artist, her paintings filled with emotion and color, yet her studio remained empty. She poured her heart into every canvas, but something was missing. She felt the constant pressure to succeed, to get her work seen, and to sell her art. This anxiety was palpable. She was energetically pushing against the world, and the world was not responding. One day, in an attempt to break the cycle, Maria decided to stop trying so hard. Before every new painting session, she would sit in silence for a few minutes, focusing on her breath and releasing the tension in her body. She let go of the need to make her art perfect or to sell it immediately. Slowly but surely, her work began to change. The colors became richer, the strokes more confident. And mysteriously, people started showing up at her studio. The local gallery owner came to visit, not because Maria had changed her technique, but because she had changed her energy. The calm and confidence she exuded drew others to her art in a way that desperate striving never could. The practice of cultivating calm, the lesson here is simple. Inner stillness is the key to unlocking external abundance. When you are calm, your energy shifts. You no longer need to chase after what you want. Instead, you become a magnet for it. How can you harness this power? It begins with a practice I call the sacred pause. Before any decision, whether it's financial, professional, or personal, take 3 deep, deliberate breaths. 1, inhale deeply, grounding yourself in the present moment. 2, exhale slowly, releasing any tension, fear, or urgency. 3, breathe in once more, allowing a sense of calm to settle in your body and mind. These 3 breaths create a moment of stillness, allowing you to reconnect with your inner peace and align yourself with the flow of abundance. This practice is not just about waiting. It's about actively cultivating calm in the face of life's demands. It's about showing the universe that you are ready to receive, not from a place of desperation, but from a place of trust and certainty. As you make the sacred pause a part of your daily routine, you will notice a shift in your relationship with abundance. Money, success, and opportunities won't feel like elusive goals you must chase. Instead, they will come to you, drawn by the powerful magnetism of your inner stillness. A new beginning, you have the power to change your reality, not through frantic effort, but through the quiet strength of your centered being. When you stop fighting the storm and embrace the calm within, you'll unlock the true flow of abundance that has been waiting for you all along. Take a moment now to breathe. Feel the stillness rise within you. Trust that this calm is your greatest source of power. It is time to let go of the need to control and allow the universe to respond to your peaceful, magnetic energy. Chapter 6. The Invisible Web. Have you ever felt an inexplicable pull towards something? An urge to take a different turn, to step into the unknown, or to explore a path you've never noticed before? It's the kind of feeling that seems to come out of nowhere, but deep down, you know it's leading you to something important. What if this was not just a random coincidence? What if it was the universe nudging you, guiding you towards something that was always meant for you? In the heart of a city built upon layers of ancient history and bustling streets, there was a man named Victor, a skilled artisan who wove intricate designs for the royal courts. His life was a cycle of routine. Each day began with a walk down familiar cobblestone streets, past the same market stalls, until one day, something unusual happened. A whisper, soft yet undeniable, urged him down a narrow alley he had never noticed before. Without knowing why, Victor obeyed the pull. As he walked deeper into the alley, he found an old merchant, his stall filled with strange materials, glistening threads and fabrics that caught the light in an almost otherworldly way. Intrigued, Victor learned that these threads were not from the city's markets, but came from a remote monastery in the mountains. The monks, so the story went, meditated for hours as they wove the fabrics, imbuing them with an energy far beyond the material world. Victor soon began incorporating these threads into his creations. Before long, his works became legendary, attracting the eyes of nobility from distant lands. His small workshop transformed into a sanctuary of art and elegance, all because he trusted a pull, an invisible thread, that led him to something he had never imagined. The web of connection this story is more than just a tale of one man's fortune. It reveals a universal truth. The desires you feel, the curiosities you can't shake, the paths you find yourself inexplicably drawn to, they are not random. They are part of a hidden web of connection, one that links you to everything that is meant to come into your life. Your yearnings are not accidents. They are divine threads, weaving through the fabric of existence, guiding you to what already belongs to you in the unseen realms. You're not here to force new connections or create something from nothing. Your journey is about recognizing the connections that have always existed, hidden just beyond your conscious awareness. It's about becoming aware of the intricate web that links your desires to your reality. Recognizing the ties that bind, take a moment to imagine a young woman named Amelia, a quiet soul who spent her days working at a small library tucked away in a sleepy village. Amelia was content, yet she often felt a gnawing sense that something larger was waiting for her, just out of reach. One evening, while sorting through the dusty bookshelves, she had a dream. In the dream, a glowing manuscript beckoned to her, its pages shimmering with words that called out to her soul. The dream was vivid, so real it felt like a whisper from another time. Though she dismissed it at first, the dream returned, night after night, growing stronger, more vivid, until Amelia could no longer ignore it. The pull was undeniable. She returned to the library the next morning and began combing through every corner. Behind a forgotten row of books, hidden behind a dusty panel, she found the book from her dreams, a leather-bound volume, just as she had imagined it. Inside was a letter revealing a connection to her family's past, one that placed her as the rightful guardian of the library's legacy. Amelia had always been surrounded by the key to her own story. The path to her purpose wasn't something she had to create. It was always there, wrapped in the invisible threads of her destiny, waiting to be recognized. The art of recognizing your path, this is the essence of manifestation. It's not about creating new connections out of thin air. It's about recognizing what is already there, the invisible threads linking you to the future you are destined for. Often, the opportunities and people you need are already in your life. They're already intertwined with your journey. What's required is the awareness to see these connections, to trust them, and to strengthen them. To help uncover these threads, follow this simple practice I call the threading exercise. 1. Find a quiet space where you can be undisturbed. 2. Close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths to center yourself in the present moment. 3. On a clean sheet of paper, write down 3 dreams or desires that resonate with your soul. Don't write down what you think you should want. Write down what excites and terrifies you all at once. For each desire, ask, how am I already connected to this dream? Allow yourself to write without filtering or judging, and trust your intuition to guide you. You might uncover that the resources you need are already within your grasp, that the right people have already crossed your path, or that the skills you seek are already developing within you. The act of recognition is the first step to manifesting your dreams. It's about understanding that the universe isn't handing you a blank slate. It's guiding you toward what has already been laid out for you. Trusting the web, remember, the invisible threads of your destiny are already weaving their way through your life. Every desire, every moment of inspiration, every twist of fate is part of the larger tapestry that is yours to claim. The key is to trust the process, to follow the invisible guidance that leads you from one step to the next. So, the next time you feel a pull, no matter how small, don't dismiss it. Follow it. The universe has already connected you to what you seek. You just need to recognize the path and trust that the threads you've been following were placed there for a reason. Chapter 7. The Hidden Power of Perception. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract wealth effortlessly, while others struggle despite their best efforts? It's not about the amount of work put in, nor the external circumstances. They've unlocked a secret most never even consider. They've tapped into the power of perception. In a small village tucked away between lush hills and winding rivers, there was a humble blacksmith named Thomas. His forge was always alive with the sound of clanging metal, but no matter how hard he worked, his wealth remained elusive. He was a master of his craft, but he couldn't seem to catch a break. One day, as he worked in his shop, a wanderer entered. The man had a calm presence, dressed simply but carrying an air of quiet wisdom. "May I warm myself by your fire?" the stranger asked, his voice calm and measured. Thomas nodded, gesturing to a seat by the hearth. As they sat in silence, the wanderer reached into his pouch and pulled out 2 coins. One was a shimmering silver coin, and the other a plain iron token. He held them out to Thomas. "Which of these holds more value?" the wanderer asked with a knowing smile. Without hesitation, Thomas pointed to the silver coin. "This one, of course. Silver is precious." The wanderer's smile deepened. "To you it is. But to a traveler like myself, this iron token is priceless. It has served me far more than any silver coin ever could. The true value of something is not in what it is made of, but in the belief you attach to it." Thomas was taken aback. The words resonated deeply, though he didn't fully understand them. The wanderer's lesson was simple yet profound. Value is not inherent in the object, but in how we perceive it. And that perception, he realized, had the power to shape his entire reality. The currency of belief. In that moment, Thomas was introduced to a deeper truth. Belief is the true currency that drives our lives. Your perception of what's possible, your understanding of what you deserve, is more powerful than any external force. You aren't just attracting what you want, you are attracting what you believe you deserve. Wealth, in all its forms, begins as a mental construct. It begins with how you see yourself in relation to abundance. The beliefs you hold about money, success, and worth shape the world around you. This is why 2 people can have the same opportunity but experience vastly different results. One sees it as a doorway to abundance, while the other sees it as another struggle to overcome. The story of Aisha, shifting perception. Aisha, a talented artist living in a crowded city, knew this truth all too well. For years, she struggled to make a living from her artwork. She worked endlessly, pouring her heart into every brushstroke, but her sales were minimal, and her financial situation remained tight. She didn't feel worthy of the success she desired. One day, while cleaning her studio, Aisha had a realization. She had been undervaluing her work for years. She had always thought that if she lowered her prices, more people would buy her paintings. But deep down, she knew that wasn't the issue. The problem lay in her belief about her own worth. With a quiet determination, Aisha made a bold decision. She raised the price of her paintings, not just to reflect the hours of labor, but to match the value she felt her art truly represented. She wasn't just an artist, she was a creator, a channel for beauty and emotion. The price of her work was a reflection of her own self-respect. To her surprise, as soon as she changed her perception of her own value, the world began to reflect it back. More people came to her gallery, eager to own a piece of her work. Her income grew, not because of a marketing strategy, but because her belief about her value had shifted. And with that shift, her reality followed. The magnetic field of your beliefs act like a magnetic field. If you believe you are worthy of abundance, you will naturally draw it toward you. But if you see yourself as lacking, that is exactly what you will attract. Wealth and prosperity are not external forces to be chased. They are already yours to claim, waiting for you to recognize your worth. The law of attraction isn't just about asking for what you want. It's about aligning your internal world with what you desire. When your beliefs and desires are in harmony, the universe has no choice but to respond. This is the essence of spiritual gravity, the pull between your inner world and the outer world of experiences. A daily practice for shifting perception. Changing your perception doesn't happen overnight, but with consistent practice, you can begin to shift your inner landscape. Here's a simple but powerful exercise to start reprogramming your beliefs about abundance. 1. Begin each day with a moment of stillness. Stand in front of your mirror, take a deep breath, and speak these affirmations with unwavering confidence. I am deserving of unlimited abundance. Wealth flows to me easily and effortlessly. I am the creator of my financial reality. 2. Feel the words resonate through every part of you. Visualize the wealth you desire as already part of your life. See yourself living in harmony with abundance. 3. Repeat these affirmations daily, each time with more belief, more certainty. The more you align with the truth of your worth, the more the universe will mirror that back to you. Breaking through the limits. You are not limited by the circumstances you see. You are limited only by the beliefs you hold about what is possible for you. By shifting your perception of wealth and worth, you unlock the door to new opportunities, new abundance, and a life that is richer in every sense. You are the architect of your financial reality, and your beliefs are the foundation on which your world is built. Change them, and the world will change with you. Chapter 8. The Illusion of the Obstacle. Have you ever stood at the edge of something you knew could change your life, only to feel a wave of paralyzing fear? It's as if the universe is daring you to step forward, yet there's something inside you, doubt, uncertainty, maybe even regret, that holds you back. What if I told you that this fear is not a threat, but a companion, a guide on the journey to your greatest breakthrough? Meet Ethan. He wasn't unlike you or I, full of hopes, dreams, and a deep, unshakable desire to achieve greatness. One day, Ethan found himself at the entrance of a dark, mysterious cave. The villagers had whispered for years about what lay inside: a dragon, a beast of unimaginable power, guarding untold treasures. So naturally, Ethan hesitated. As his heart thudded, faster and faster, an old figure appeared beside him. The figure was bent with age but radiated wisdom, as if time had molded him into something more than mortal. "What do you see before you?" the figure asked, his voice smooth like a river's current. "A dragon," Ethan replied, his voice barely a whisper, filled with dread. "It's waiting to devour anyone who dares approach." The old man smiled, a knowing glimmer in his eyes. "Look closer," he said, pointing at the darkness. "That dragon is not what you think it is. It's the shape of your fear, the form your doubt has taken." Shifting your lens. Doubt is your ally. As Ethan peered deeper into the cave, his eyes began to adjust. What had once appeared as a ferocious monster now seemed more like a shadow, a dark, swirling mass that diminished the more he focused on it. The truth was clear now. The dragon wasn't real. It was only the illusion of fear, magnified by his own mind. The elder's voice returned. "Fear and doubt are not the enemies they appear to be. They are simply the gatekeepers on your path. They exist not to stop you, but to show you where your growth lies. Every time you face them, you come closer to unlocking the treasure on the other side." Ethan's hands trembled as the full realization dawned. His fears were not walls, they were windows. Each doubt, each fear, was an invitation to look deeper within himself, to find strength he had never known. This is where the real magic begins, embracing doubt not as something to avoid, but as a tool for deeper understanding. Just as Ethan learned, the more you step into your fears, the more they lose their grip on you. They may never fully disappear, but they no longer control the course of your journey. Instead, they guide you, challenging you to rise above your self-imposed limitations. From resistance to acceptance. The transformative power of acknowledging fear. Take Clara, for example, a violinist whose talent was once unmatched. She had performed in front of thousands, her melodies floating like wings in the air. Yet after a single, harsh review, her music fell silent. Fear crept in, whispering that she was unworthy of her dreams. For years, Clara avoided the stage, swallowed by the monster of doubt. But as time passed, she realized that silence was not peace, it was a prison. One evening, she decided to confront her fears directly. "I hear you," she said to her doubts, "but I will play anyway." Her first performance was small, just a handful of friends in her living room. But each note was a conversation with her fear, and each performance was a step toward reclaiming her voice. The more she played, the more the fear melted away. Her confidence returned, stronger than before. And soon, her music filled concert halls once again, her doubts now mere companions on her journey, no longer the rulers of her destiny. The hidden strength in your doubts. The moral here is simple, yet profound. Doubts and fears are not your enemies, they are your hidden allies. Every time you resist them, you give them more power. But when you acknowledge them with compassion, they lose their grip and begin to serve you, guiding you toward your highest potential. Your doubts about success, worthiness, and abundance are not roadblocks, they are invitations. Invitations to dig deeper, to expand your consciousness, to understand your true power. The more you push against them, the more they'll push back. But when you face them with open arms, they'll begin to shrink. You see, doubt is not a wall, it's a doorway. It's a test, an opportunity to transcend the limitations you've placed on yourself. It's there to remind you that growth is never comfortable, but always worth it. A sacred practice for overcoming doubt. Here's a powerful practice to transform the way you engage with your fears. It's not about eradicating them, but about shifting your relationship with them, so they no longer control you. One, find your quiet space. Sit in a comfortable, undisturbed place where you can think clearly. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Feel the energy within you. 2, write a letter to your doubt. Take a piece of paper and write a letter to your doubt, as though it's an old friend who's walked with you for years. Acknowledge its presence and thank it for the protection it thinks it's offering. But also make it clear that it no longer has the power to dictate your actions. 3, create new boundaries in your letter. Establish new terms. When will you listen to your doubts? When will you move forward, even in the face of them? Create a new understanding that, though your doubt may accompany you, it will not control you. For declare your commitment to growth. End the letter with a powerful declaration. Though you may walk beside me, you no longer hold the reins. I am the one steering my ship. This is your affirmation of power. The transformation begins now. Every doubt is a doorway to deeper self-awareness. Every fear is an invitation to unlock hidden potential. Don't wait for your doubts to disappear before you act. Use them as a catalyst for growth. Walk through the door, and you'll find that the fear that once held you back is now the fuel that drives you forward. Chapter 9. The Silent Language of the Universe. What if I told you that the key to unlocking your desires doesn't lie in the words you speak, but in the energy you radiate? Imagine, for a moment, standing in the presence of someone whose silence speaks louder than any conversation. This person's very being communicates more than their voice ever could, conveying truths that resonate deep within you. Would you believe me if I said that you, too, are capable of speaking this ancient, unspoken language? In the heart of a village, nestled within rolling hills, there lived a man named Elias. He had never uttered a single word in his life. His silence, however, was far from empty. His hands moved with purpose, shaping invisible patterns in the air and on parchment that left everyone who saw them in awe. Every morning, he would trace intricate symbols in the dust of the village square, and by dusk, the villagers would notice how their lives seemed to shift, aligning effortlessly with the invisible patterns he had created. The unspoken power of vibration. Elias's gift was more than just an art. It was a demonstration of a fundamental law of the universe. Manifestation is not about the words you speak, but the energy you emit. The universe doesn't listen to your language. It responds to the vibration of your being, to the symphony of your intentions that flows beneath the surface of conscious thought. Think about this. When you are deeply aligned with your purpose, your desires, and your highest truth, words often fall short. In the moments when you are in perfect harmony with your inner vision, the world doesn't need your voice to hear you. It hears your energy. It listens to the quiet pulse of your intentions, the subtle vibrations that surround you. This is why some of the most powerful manifestations occur not in noisy declarations, but in the silent spaces between thoughts where pure potential exists. A garden of intentions take, for example, the story of Elena, a woman who lived on the outskirts of the village. In the quiet of her garden, she discovered this profound truth. Unlike others who spoke their desires aloud, Elena had never uttered a word about her dreams. Instead, she infused each seed she planted with a silent intention. As she gently pressed the seeds into the earth, her heart filled with images of abundance, success, and prosperity. As the seasons changed, her garden flourished in ways that could not be explained by logic alone. The roses bloomed in spirals that mirrored her vision of growth, while vines reached upward in the exact shape of the prosperity she had felt within. Elena's garden became a living testament to the unseen language, the language of energy, of vibration, of intention. To anyone who wandered through, something shifted within them. They couldn't pinpoint why, but they felt the stirring of their own potential awakening. The symbolic language of manifestation, this phenomenon, is not unique to Elias or Elena. It is a universal truth. The universe does not respond to the content of your words as much as it responds to the symbols and vibrations that you transmit. Your ability to manifest the life you desire lies not in what you say, but in how authentically you can communicate your desires through intention and symbolic energy. When you align with the invisible currents of the universe, words become secondary. It is the purity of your energy that speaks volumes. The symbols, the thoughts, the emotions you radiate, these are the true language of manifestation. They communicate directly with the forces that shape your reality. A sacred practice for vibrational alignment to deepen your understanding of this silent language. Try this sacred practice. 1. Create or discover your personal symbol. Take a moment in solitude to reflect on what abundance means to you. It might be a symbol, a specific shape, pattern, or image that resonates deeply with your vision of prosperity. This symbol could be anything: a stone with a pattern that speaks to you, an object that represents your desires, or even a sacred geometric design that reflects the flow of energy you seek. 2. Engage in wordless connection. Once you've discovered your symbol, hold it in your hands or place it somewhere you can see it every day. Spend 5 minutes each day with it. Let your gaze rest on the symbol and allow its meaning to bypass your rational mind. In these moments, let the symbol speak to your soul. Feel the resonance of its energy as it aligns you with the universal currents of abundance and possibility. 3. Trust the unseen forces. Trust that this silent communion is more powerful than words. In the stillness, you will begin to notice subtle shifts in your life, small signs that the universe is responding to the energy you're sending out. Through this practice, you align with the ancient, universal language of manifestation, the language that has shaped the destinies of countless individuals throughout history. The language beyond words. Manifestation is not limited to the spoken word. In fact, it transcends language altogether. When you learn to communicate through intention and vibration, you open yourself to a deeper connection with the universe. Words are fleeting, but energy is eternal. Embrace the silent language of the universe. Trust in the symbols and vibrations that speak to your soul, and watch as your desires begin to materialize in ways that defy logic and expectation. Chapter 10. The silent force that shapes destiny. Imagine, for a moment, standing on the edge of a river, its waters flowing relentlessly, as ancient as the earth itself. The air is thick with the soft murmur of willows brushing against the current. Here, at the river's edge, a man named Kale finds himself every morning, not in pursuit of something, but in complete surrender to the stillness. His eyes are closed, his breath slow and steady, perfectly attuned to the rhythm of nature. No words pass his lips, no desires fill his mind. He simply exists in the moment, waiting. In this place, Kale isn't searching for answers. He isn't hoping for something to happen. Instead, he's tapping into a power far deeper than words. He's aligning himself with a silent current that moves beneath the surface of all things. This is a power that speaks not through sound but through presence, through alignment, through being. And it's this silent energy that holds the key to creating a life that flows effortlessly with the universe. The magnetism of stillness, the power of silence, is often underestimated in a world that constantly demands action, noise, and results. But true power doesn't come from the loudness of your desires or the frantic energy of striving. True power emerges in the quiet spaces, in the moments when you step back from the chaos of life and simply allow yourself to be. This is the silent magnetism that draws everything you want toward you, not by force, but by alignment. Take, for instance, the story of Serafina, a sculptor whose art had always been admired but never truly celebrated. For years, she poured her heart into her work, seeking recognition, pushing her creations into the spotlight, and hoping someone would notice. Yet the praise always seemed just out of reach. Then one day, after an intense period of introspection, she decided to change her approach. Serafina withdrew from the noise of the art world. She spent weeks alone in her studio, not seeking validation or approval, but allowing herself to reconnect with the essence of her craft. She didn't tell anyone about her new direction. She didn't market herself or seek out new opportunities. Instead, she focused solely on the purity of her creations, carving with a quiet intention, breathing life into stone without a thought of recognition. Months later, her work was discovered in an unexpected way. A collector, moved by the energy and depth of her pieces, sought her out. Her art had found its audience, not because she was shouting for attention, but because she had created from a place of deep alignment and trust in the process. The unseen connection between silence and success. This story isn't just about Serafina's art. It's a reflection of the fundamental truth of manifestation. The universe responds not to the volume of your desires, but to the depth of your alignment with them. When you stop pushing, when you stop forcing, and when you begin to simply align with your inner truth, the universe will find a way to bring everything you need to you. It's like planting a seed in fertile soil. You don't need to shout at the earth to get it to grow. You don't need to demand that it bear fruit immediately. All you need to do is nurture it, trust the process, and allow it to unfold naturally. The same principle applies to every desire in your life, whether it's abundance, love, or success. A simple practice to cultivate the power of silence to tap into this powerful force. All you need is a quiet space and a clear intention. Here's how to begin. 1. Create your sacred space. Find a space where you won't be disturbed. This can be in nature, a quiet corner of your home, or anywhere that allows you to be fully present without distractions. 2. Clear your mind, close your eyes, and take several deep breaths, letting go of all thoughts, worries, and distractions. Allow yourself to settle into the present moment, fully aware of the stillness around you. 3. Focus on your desire with your mind quiet. Gently bring to the forefront of your mind a clear image of what you wish to manifest, whether it's a goal, an opportunity, or a state of being. See it in vivid detail, feeling the emotions connected to it as if it has already come to life. 4. Trust the process in the silence. Surrender your need for immediate results. Let go of the desire to control the outcome. Trust that the universe will respond to the energy you are emitting, not through force or effort, but through pure alignment. 5. Practice. Consistently commit to this practice daily, even if it's just for 10 minutes. The more you align with the frequency of your desires, the more you'll begin to notice synchronicities and opportunities that align with your vision. The silent pulse of the universe. When you are able to fully embrace the power of silence, you enter into a deeper connection with the universe's rhythm. It's in this quiet space that miracles happen, not because you are striving or pushing, but because you are aligned with the flow of life itself. You stop trying to force outcomes and instead allow the natural current to guide you. True manifestation comes from within. It's not about what you say, but about what you embody. When you align yourself with the silent current of the universe, everything you desire begins to flow effortlessly toward you. So trust the process. Trust that in the stillness, your deepest desires are being heard. And let that silent power guide you to the life you are meant to live. Chapter 11. The Hidden Current of Unspoken Power. Have you ever felt the weight of words that seem to fall short? Like no matter how loudly you shout, the universe remains unmoved, distant? What if true power doesn't lie in the noise we make, but in the moments we choose to be still, allowing the world to listen to the silence within? In the heart of a mist-covered valley, far from the distractions of modern life, lived Isabella, a woman who had once been a captivating force in the world, her voice a steady rhythm in the lives of millions. For years, she poured herself into her words, her messages resonating across continents, touching hearts and changing minds. But one day, as she stood on a quiet mountain path, something shifted. The world felt different, the air heavier with possibility. She realized that in her constant pursuit of speaking, she had overlooked the quiet, unseen force that was always present, the power of silence. It wasn't a retreat, nor an act of avoidance. It was an awakening, an understanding that the universe speaks louder in the absence of words. Just as the wind whispers secrets to those who are silent enough to listen, the universe, too, waits for us to listen to its call. And in that stillness, Isabella discovered a magnetic energy far more potent than anything she had ever created through her speeches. The power beneath the surface. Isabella's decision to embrace this silent force marked the beginning of a profound transformation. Silence is not the void, it is the hidden current that moves everything. When we stop speaking our desires into the world, we allow the universe to tune into the frequency of our true essence. And in that alignment, something extraordinary happens. Our desires, unspoken yet deeply felt, start to manifest. The laws of this silent power are simple yet profound. When you step back from the need to constantly announce your intentions, you allow the flow of the universe to respond in ways that are beyond anything words could achieve. Your energy becomes a beacon, a lighthouse in the fog, drawing to you the opportunities that match your vibration. What you stop chasing begins to chase you. Take the example of Ethan, a skilled architect who had spent years tirelessly pitching his ideas to clients. He perfected his pitches, crafted endless proposals, and followed up on every lead. Yet, success seemed just out of reach, like trying to catch water with cupped hands. One evening, exhausted and on the verge of giving up, Ethan realized that his constant effort to convince was draining him. In that moment of stillness, he made a bold choice. He would stop chasing. Instead of dominating conversations with his ideas, he began to listen, to hear what his clients truly needed, not just what he thought they wanted. He let his expertise speak for itself, without pushing it forward. And then something miraculous happened. His clients, sensing his calm confidence and genuine presence, began to seek him out, not for his persuasive tactics, but for his ability to truly understand. Within a few months, Ethan's business had flourished. No longer was he the one chasing clients, they were coming to him. All because he chose to embrace the power of listening, of allowing his silence to speak louder than his words. Harnessing the silent symphony, imagine standing before a vast, flowing river. The water moves with purpose, yet there is no sound, just a quiet, determined force. This river, like the energy of the universe, flows silently, but it shapes everything in its path. We often think that to make things happen, we must exert force, speak loudly, and push our desires into existence. But the truth is, the universe does not respond to the noise we make. It responds to the subtle, unspoken alignment of our being. When you allow yourself to enter this silent flow, you stop trying to control the current. You trust that the universe, like the river, will carry you toward what you need. This is the law of magnetic silence. The more you align with your true essence in silence, the more the universe moves in harmony with you. The silent ritual, a practice of magnetic alignment to truly tap into the silent power of the universe. Create a space where you can be undisturbed, away from the constant buzz of everyday life. Choose one full day to remain in complete silence about your deepest desires and goals. Instead of speaking them out loud, feel their presence in your body as a quiet, glowing flame within your chest. Let that energy guide you, without the need to articulate it. Throughout the day, notice how people begin to respond to your energy rather than your words. Pay attention to the shifts in your environment, the small but significant changes that occur when you stop pushing and allow the flow to take over. When you release the need to speak your desires into existence, you create space for the universe to respond in unexpected and powerful ways. This practice is not just about physical silence, but emotional and mental quiet. It's about aligning your entire being with the silent symphony that moves through you, trusting that everything you need is already on its way, drawn by the invisible force of your inner stillness. A new kind of power. Trust in silence. When you begin to trust in silence, you unlock a hidden power that has always been available to you. It's the kind of power that doesn't demand attention or force. It simply draws to it the perfect opportunities, the right people, and the ideal circumstances. Your silence becomes the loudest message to the universe, announcing that you are ready to receive, ready to align with the flow of life. This is the truth that Isabella discovered on her mountain retreat. Silence is not the absence of power, but its most concentrated form. And when we allow ourselves to be still, to listen, and to trust the unseen forces at work, we open ourselves to a life that flows with effortless grace. Are you ready to unlock the silent power within you? Take a moment today to embrace the stillness and let your energy speak louder than any words could. Create space for the universe to respond and watch as the flow of life begins to move in your favor. Trust that your desires are already on their way, silently being shaped by the magnetic force of your alignment. Chapter 12. The Hidden Treasure Beneath the Surface. What if the most valuable moments in your life are happening in places you can't see? What if the grand masterpiece of your existence is already unfolding in secret, beyond the reaches of your conscious control? At the edge of a sleepy town, tucked away in a humble theater, a quiet man named Thomas moved through his evening rituals, dusting props, tightening ropes, and adjusting the old curtains that framed the stage. For 20 years, he had worked in the shadows of this creative space, maintaining the unseen mechanics that supported the spectacular performances unfolding before the audience. To the onlookers, the magic happened in the spotlight, but Thomas knew better. He had witnessed the true power of the unseen. One evening, as the theater lay in quiet solitude, a soft, radiant glow caught his attention. Through the gap of a curtain, he saw a mysterious orb, shimmering with pure, otherworldly light. It beckoned him closer. As he lifted it, an overwhelming sense of clarity washed over him. The most powerful magic, true manifestation, happens in the spaces we can't yet see. This is how the universe works. Like a grand, intricate theater, life is more than the spotlight moments we observe. Behind the scenes, unseen forces are constantly moving in perfect harmony, arranging opportunities, aligning people, and orchestrating the events that lead to the fulfillment of our deepest desires. Our task is not to control each detail, but to trust the unseen process unfolding just behind the velvet curtain of life. The hidden dance of life. Take a moment to reflect on the story of Amelia. A single mother raising 2 children, she had meticulously planned every step of her future. She knew exactly how her success would unfold: a specific job, a perfect house, and a detailed timeline to match her vision. For weeks, she clung to these plans, tightening her grip with each passing day. She was exhausted, stressed, and frustrated as life refused to bend to her rigid expectations. Then, in a moment of quiet surrender, Amelia let go of her need for control. She allowed the universe to have its way. And that's when the unexpected magic happened. Her distant cousin, who had been watching Amelia's unwavering dedication to her children, reached out with a gift: an invitation to take over a flourishing business, one that offered Amelia the freedom to work from home and earn far more than she had ever dreamed. The universe had been working behind the scenes all along, waiting for her to release her attachment to how her blessings should appear. Amelia's desires had been like seeds buried deep in the fertile soil of possibility. She couldn't see them growing, but she trusted that they were being nourished and prepared for the right moment. The breakthrough came not from rigid planning, but from surrendering to the divine choreography of life. The seed beneath the soil. Your desires are like seeds planted in the earth. Though you cannot always see the roots growing beneath the surface, trust that the universe is nurturing them, ensuring they are fed and tended to. The moment of breakthrough often arrives not because you forced it, but because life has been quietly arranging everything in perfect timing. There's no need to peek behind the curtain of the universe or rush its process. Like a theater production preparing for its grand reveal, everything is being set up with perfect care. All that is required of you is trust, the understanding that what is meant for you is being prepared behind the scenes. Sacred practice. Visualize the unseen to connect with this hidden orchestration. Find a peaceful, quiet space where you can relax without distractions. Close your eyes and imagine standing before a grand, velvet curtain. Behind it, your deepest desires are being carefully arranged, with each detail falling into place in divine timing. Feel the excitement and anticipation building within you, knowing that the universe is staging your blessing with flawless precision. As you visualize this scene, let go of any urge to control or rush the timing. Let the peace of trust replace the anxiety of needing to know how or when. The universe is already on the case, and your only role is to rest in the certainty that everything is unfolding perfectly. Hold this image in your mind, soaking in the calm confidence that comes with releasing control. Trust that the universe's plan for you is unfolding beautifully, and all you need to do is enjoy the anticipation, knowing the curtain will rise at just the right moment. Take a moment today to pause and trust. Visualize your desires unfolding behind the curtain, being carefully prepared for the perfect moment. Let go of the need to control or rush the process. Rest in the peace of knowing that the universe is handling the details and that your desires are already on their way, being shaped with love and precision. Allow the magic to happen behind the scenes and trust that when the time is right, your life will be revealed in the most extraordinary way. Chapter 13. The Unseen Affirmation. Have you ever felt a quiet certainty, a subtle whisper within you, that the world is already saying yes to everything you desire? In the still hours before dawn, when the world is still asleep, an old telegrapher named Samuel sat at his station, his hands lightly resting on the brass key. For 3 decades, he had been the silent translator of messages, deciphering the dots and dashes that carried words across great distances. But one morning, something unexpected happened. Amid the usual transmissions, he began to pick up an unusual frequency, soft clicks, subtle yet undeniable, rising from the stillness around him. At first, Samuel thought it was just his imagination, but soon the clicks grew too distinct to ignore. They were saying yes, over and over, a rhythmic pulse that perfectly matched the beat of his heart. The universe was speaking, not in words, but in frequencies. The signal of alignment, you are much like Samuel's telegraph key, an instrument tuned to receive messages from the universe. Just as a radio must be carefully adjusted to the right frequency to catch a clear signal, your consciousness needs to be aligned with the vibration of your desires. The universe doesn't require persuasion, nor does it wait for you to plead. The moment you align your inner frequency with what you seek, the universe responds with an immediate and unconditional yes. This yes is not a negotiation. It's not about convincing the universe that you deserve your desires. It's simply about tuning yourself to the frequency of what you want. When you let go of doubt, fear, and resistance, you allow your life to sync with the flow of the universe. A change of frequency. Consider the story of Lily. A talented artist, she poured her heart into her paintings, but despite her skill, her work never gained the recognition it deserved. She questioned every brushstroke, every color choice, and doubted the worth of her talent. Her internal frequency was filled with hesitation, and the universe echoed back her doubts through missed opportunities and silence. Then one day, as Lily stood before her canvas, something shifted. She no longer questioned her talent. She stopped rehearsing failure in her mind. Instead, she simply affirmed, "I am an artist, and my work is worthy of being seen." There was no grand announcement, no dramatic change in her routine, just a quiet, internal shift in the way she vibrated with the world around her. Within weeks, her art was displayed in galleries. People began to recognize her unique style, and soon her paintings were sought after. Nothing about her art had changed. What had transformed was the frequency she radiated. The universe responded to her alignment with a resounding yes. The silent affirmation the universe is already saying yes to you. It's waiting for you to tune into that frequency. Every desire, every dream, is already aligned with your soul's vibration, but it's up to you to match that signal. To begin this practice, find a quiet moment each day, preferably as the sun rises. Sit in stillness, place your hands over your heart, and feel the steady rhythm of your breath. In the silence, affirm to yourself, "The universe says yes to me." Repeat it silently, knowing that this isn't a request. It's a recognition of the truth that has always been present. Feel the truth of these words sink deep into your being. The yes is already here. You are not asking for permission, but rather, you are acknowledging that the universe is already aligned with your desires. As you continue this practice, allow yourself to resonate with the certainty that everything you seek is already in motion, waiting for you to step into the flow. A new beginning each morning. As you breathe in the silence, remember that the universe has already said yes to you. There is no need for struggle or negotiation. Simply align with the rhythm of what you seek. Trust that the moment you tune into that frequency, everything you desire will begin to come to you effortlessly, just as the universe has always intended. Chapter 14. The Treasure Within, Unlocking Your Inner Potential. What if the greatest treasure you'll ever find doesn't lie buried in the earth or hidden behind locked doors? What if it's already within you, waiting to be unearthed? Imagine, for a moment, you've spent your life seeking something outside of yourself, chasing after external riches, success, and validation. But what if all along, the true wealth was right there inside you? Meet Claire. She spent her days working in the heart of a bustling city, handling paperwork for a small firm that often felt more like a maze of endless tasks than a path to fulfillment. She would return home each night, her mind heavy with the weight of the workday, believing that her potential was tied to promotions, paycheck raises, or the elusive right opportunity. But her breakthrough didn't come from a new job or a larger paycheck. It came from a shift in perspective. One night, as Claire walked home, she passed by an old, neglected park she'd walked by countless times before. It was always quiet, a little hidden by overgrown bushes, as though the city itself had forgotten about it. Yet on this particular evening, something felt different. She stepped off the main path and ventured into the park. Among the wild vines and overgrown grass, Claire stumbled upon a small, hidden door carved into the earth. Curiosity piqued, she gently pried it open, and inside she found something unexpected. Not jewels or gold coins, but a collection of forgotten treasures, letters, old maps, and pictures. These weren't artifacts of material wealth. They were symbols of untapped potential, hidden wisdom that could change everything for those brave enough to look inward. Just as Claire's discovery unlocked an unexpected hidden world, so too does your inner world hold untold riches waiting to be revealed. But this treasure doesn't exist in the form of material wealth. It's something far more powerful. It is the wisdom, the inner strength, and the untapped potential that resides within you, waiting for you to unlock it. The true key to abundance is not in searching the outer world for answers. It's in unlocking the vault inside your own consciousness. The way you think, the beliefs you hold, and the stories you tell yourself all shape the world you experience. When you begin to change the inner dialogue you have about prosperity, the world outside has no choice but to mirror that transformation. The shift in perspective. Take Amir, for example. Amir was a mechanic, struggling to make ends meet. He worked long hours, often feeling drained and disconnected from any sense of purpose beyond the work itself. But one day, while fixing an old, neglected car, he had an epiphany. What if abundance was something he could create, rather than something he had to chase? He began to shift his thoughts, imagining not just making enough to survive, but flourishing in ways he never thought possible. Within weeks, an old friend contacted him, offering him an opportunity to expand his workshop and invest in more tools, leading to a dramatic increase in business. What Amir didn't realize was that the moment he decided to believe in his ability to attract abundance, he activated the very forces that had been waiting for him to take action. The shift wasn't in the physical world at first. It was an inner shift in belief. And that shift created an avalanche of opportunities, demonstrating that the vault of abundance is unlocked first in the mind and heart. A new practice. The vault of your inner riches. The question now is, how do you begin to unlock your own vault of abundance? It starts with a daily practice, one that trains your mind to see the potential within you. Create a journal, but not just any journal. This is your prosperity journal, a sacred space where you document your inner treasures. Every day, write down the things you already possess that make you wealthy in spirit. Your creativity, your talents, your ability to give love, your moments of peace, and your capacity to see opportunity even in the smallest of things. As you record these treasures, remember that you're not just writing, you're actively unlocking new layers of possibility within your mind. Each entry in your journal serves as a key that opens deeper levels of abundance. This practice isn't about waiting for the world to change. It's about changing your relationship with yourself. As you begin to recognize the wealth that already exists within you, the universe will reflect that shift in its own way. It may start with small, subtle shifts, perhaps a new opportunity, a breakthrough idea, or a chance encounter that propels you forward. But it will grow stronger, more profound, and more tangible the more you nurture this inner transformation. Unlock your inner vault. The wealth that lies hidden inside you is not a distant dream or a far-off destination. It's a treasure that's been there all along, waiting for you to open the door. What if today is the day you choose to unlock that vault? What if you decided to rewrite the story of your life, no longer chasing what you lack, but recognizing and claiming the abundance that's already yours? The true path to abundance isn't a matter of finding something outside of yourself. It's a matter of unlocking what already exists within you. You hold the key. The treasure is yours. Are you ready to open the door? Chapter 15. The Law of Echoes. What you give returns. Have you ever wondered why certain events seem to repeat themselves? Why your life sometimes feels like it's on loop, drawing in the same circumstances over and over? What if the reason lies not in what happens to you, but in what you're putting out into the world? Life operates on a subtle but powerful principle. The energy you send out is returned to you, often in ways you never expect. Think of the universe as a vast mirror reflecting your internal vibrations. Every word, thought, and feeling you project sends out waves into the world, and these waves eventually find their way back to you. This isn't just a coincidence. It's the law of resonance at work. Just like the wind catches the scent of a flower and carries it across miles, your thoughts and actions send out a powerful signal, one that the universe picks up on and responds to. So, if you're broadcasting positive energy, gratitude, kindness, and abundance, that is exactly what the world will mirror back to you. Conversely, if your energy is clouded with negativity or fear, you'll find that life tends to return those same energies in different forms. Imagine yourself standing by a calm lake, holding a stone. You throw it in, and ripples form, expanding outward in all directions before gently returning to the point of impact. Your actions and energy work in the same way. Every thought you think, every word you speak, creates ripples that must return to their source. The universe doesn't judge these ripples, it simply reflects them, as natural law demands balance. The story of Carla. Let's look at the story of Carla, a small-town artist who worked at a local cafe. Every morning, she would silently bless the world around her. While cleaning tables, she'd say to herself, "May your day be as bright as the colors on my canvas." As she filled coffee cups, she thought, "May you find peace in every sip." Carla wasn't expecting anything in return, and yet, the magic unfolded in unexpected ways. Soon, customers began to walk in with smiles, their energy matching the kindness she had sent out. One day, a local gallery owner walked in and casually asked if she had any paintings for display. Within months, her work was showcased in several exhibitions, all because she had quietly, consistently radiated the energy she wished to receive. This is the essence of the law of echoes. Your energy, like a wave, reaches out and returns in a form that mirrors what you put into the world. When you focus on the good, on abundance, on peace, the world aligns itself with your vibrational signature. Conversely, when your mind is clouded with scarcity, fear, or doubt, those very feelings are reflected back into your experience. It's the universe's way of maintaining harmony. The secret, silent giving, but here's where it gets truly powerful. You don't need to ask the universe for anything. You simply need to give. The secret is in the art of silent blessings, in becoming a conduit for goodwill and positivity. Imagine each person you meet, each situation you face, is an opportunity to send out a blessing. You don't need to say it out loud or ask for anything in return. The universe is listening to your internal energy, and that energy is returned to you, amplified. The simple practice of silent blessings. This is a practice that can be done anywhere, at any time. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment or place. Every second is an opportunity to create the life you want. As you move through your day, practice silently blessing everyone and everything around you. When you pass someone on the street, think, "May your heart be light today." When you sit in a meeting, mentally send out, "May clarity and understanding flow through this conversation." In every moment, let your energy be a ripple of positivity. This isn't about asking or demanding, it's about giving. The more you give, the more you open yourself to receiving. In giving, you align yourself with the flow of universal abundance. The more blessings you send out, the more your own life will reflect those blessings in surprising, beautiful ways. Here's a challenge for you. Each day, choose one person, whether it's a stranger, a friend, or even someone you're in conflict with, and silently bless them. Wish them the best in whatever they are doing. Don't seek anything for yourself. Just bless, and watch how your world begins to shift. The power of becoming a channel. Your life is a canvas, and the energy you send out is the paint that colors it. If you want more positivity, abundance, and love in your life, start by becoming a channel for those things. Let go of the need to chase or ask for them. Instead, focus on sending them out freely and effortlessly into the world. Become the force of positivity. Every moment is an opportunity to bless, to give, and to send out a wave of goodwill. The universe doesn't need to be asked. It already knows what you need. It simply responds to the frequency you emit. What will you send out today? What ripples are you creating? Whatever you give, the universe will reflect back. So if you want your world to be filled with kindness, peace, and abundance, begin by sending those vibrations out into the world, without expectation, and watch as life echoes them right back to you. Chapter 16. The Quiet Power of the Pause. In the chaos of life, we often forget that the answers we seek are not found in relentless action, but in stillness. On a crisp autumn afternoon, Ethan found himself standing in front of his business, its once bustling energy now reduced to silence. The weight of failure and unfulfilled dreams pressed heavily upon him. He had given everything to keep the doors open, yet the universe seemed to offer no support. As he prepared to lock the door for the final time, an elderly woman, whose presence felt both serene and unshakable, approached. She stopped beside him and asked, "When a river is muddied, what is the best course of action?" Ethan, already exhausted from the constant battles, answered without thought, "I wait for it to clear." The woman smiled gently, her voice carrying the weight of deep wisdom. "Then why do you stir the waters of your life with constant motion and worry? Why not simply allow the mud to settle on its own?" Ethan, intrigued but skeptical, listened as she continued. "I offer you a different path. For one day, do nothing. Let your mind and heart rest. Just allow everything to be." Despite his reservations, Ethan agreed. The following day, he chose to let go of his anxious thoughts and compulsive need to act. He sat quietly, observing the stillness within him and around him. In that sacred pause, something unexpected happened. Clarity emerged. A new idea, a blend of traditional craftsmanship and modern needs, formed not through struggle, but in the calm that he had created. The universe, like a wise guide, speaks in silence. Yet, we often fail to hear its messages because we're too consumed by the noise of constant doing. When we stop pushing, when we create a space for stillness, we unlock the wisdom that resides deep within us. The story of Nora. Consider Nora, a successful entrepreneur who prided herself on always being on the go. She thrived on action, making quick decisions and constantly pushing forward. But the day before an important pitch, she felt an overwhelming sense of exhaustion. Her body begged for rest, but her mind pushed her to go through with it. She finally decided to listen to her body and canceled the meeting. In that quiet moment of rest, Nora's thoughts cleared and a brilliant new strategy emerged, one that aligned perfectly with her authentic purpose. A few days later, she was approached by a company, offering her a partnership that seemed to align perfectly with her vision, all without the frantic competition she had once feared. These stories reveal a timeless truth. Pauses are not empty moments to be avoided. They are sacred spaces for realignment. When the urge to act feels overwhelming, this is the very time to embrace stillness. The rhythm of life is cyclical, like the ebb and flow of the tide or the rise and fall of a breath. To create, we must rest. To move forward, we must pause. The art of sacred stillness before making any significant decision, especially one involving money or relationships, take a moment to ground yourself in stillness. Find a quiet space where you can sit comfortably without distractions. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and let your body relax into the present moment. As your thoughts settle, imagine that your mind is like a calm lake, the ripples fading into stillness. Place your hand gently over your heart and ask, "Does this decision align with my true purpose?" Notice what arises. It may be a subtle warmth, a feeling of lightness, or perhaps a quiet knowing. These sensations are the signals of your heart, the ancient wisdom that your mind cannot calculate. Do not rush to logic or fear. Simply allow the answer to rise naturally from within. Trust that within you lies a wisdom older than any strategy or plan. Only move forward when you feel that inner clarity, like the first rays of the sun breaking through the horizon, clear, serene, and sure. By embracing the sacred pause, you connect with a deeper current of creation. The right actions will flow from this place of alignment, not from pressure or anxiety. In stillness, you will discover that life's greatest insights come not through pushing, but through allowing. Next time you feel the weight of uncertainty or the urge to rush, remember this. The universe whispers in the quiet moments. And in those moments, everything you need to know is already waiting for you. Chapter 17. The Hidden Law of Receiving. There are moments in life when the very thing we most desire eludes us, not because it is out of reach, but because we refuse to accept it. Imagine for a moment a tree bearing fruit in abundance. Its branches heavy, each fruit ripe and ready to fall. But the tree refuses to let go, holding on tightly to what it has, never allowing the harvest to be shared. This is what happens when we block the natural flow of receiving. In a quiet village tucked away among rolling hills, a man named Finn spent his days tending to his garden with a care that bordered on devotion. Every seed he planted sprouted and grew, each vegetable more bountiful than the last. His flowers danced in the breeze, vibrant and full of life. But Finn's true joy did not come from what he harvested, it came from giving. He would hand fresh vegetables to his neighbors, leave baskets of fruit on their doorsteps, and offer flowers to strangers passing by. His generosity knew no bounds, and his heart was as full as his garden. One autumn morning, a traveling merchant approached him with an offer, a luxurious wool coat, in exchange for advice on how to cultivate his land. Finn froze. The simple suggestion of receiving something in return for his kindness sent shockwaves through him. His hands trembled, his mind raced, and a deep discomfort washed over him. Why was it so difficult to accept this gift? It was a moment that revealed a hidden truth about the universe, a truth that many of us are unaware of, but which governs our lives more than we realize. The unseen resistance, the truth is this: your ability to give freely is directly connected to your ability to receive openly. It is a cycle, a dance between the two, and it cannot be broken. Many who give with an open heart unknowingly harbor a resistance to receiving. They might give endlessly, pouring their energy into others, yet when the time comes to receive, they pull back. This resistance is often hidden, like an invisible wall that blocks the flow of abundance into their lives. Have you ever noticed how hard it is to accept a compliment? Or perhaps you downplay your achievements, brushing off praise as if it were undeserved? Maybe you've been in a situation where someone offers help, but you decline thinking, "I don't need anything from anyone." These small acts of deflection are the subtle barriers we build against the gifts the universe is trying to give us. And in doing so, we block the very flow of abundance we seek. The turning point: consider a woman named Clara, a dedicated teacher whose life revolved around helping others. She poured her heart and soul into her students, guiding them with patience and care. But when it came to receiving anything in return, whether a simple thank you, a gift, or a kind gesture, Clara couldn't bring herself to accept it. She would always brush it off, saying, "Oh, it's nothing," or "I'm just doing my job." One day, one of her students, an elderly woman, stopped her after class and said, "Clara, when you refuse to accept our gratitude, you break the circle of giving and receiving. You must allow yourself to receive as much as you give, or the flow will be disrupted." These words struck Clara deeply. It was as if a veil had been lifted, and she began to see how her refusal to receive had been keeping her from the very things she needed: rest, peace, joy, and even opportunities she had never imagined. Slowly, Clara began to change. She started saying "thank you" when someone offered help, even if it made her uncomfortable. She accepted the small gifts life had to offer: a cup of tea, a kind word, a thoughtful note. And in doing so, something extraordinary happened. She found herself in situations she had once believed were beyond her reach. New job offers, invitations to speak at conferences, and an abundance of peace and satisfaction she had never known before. The cycle of giving and receiving this story illustrates a fundamental law of life. The universe operates through cycles of giving and receiving, much like the rhythm of breath. We cannot inhale without exhaling. We cannot give without receiving, nor can we receive without giving. When we block one, we disrupt both. The act of receiving is as sacred as the act of giving. It is not a sign of weakness or pride, but a necessary flow that sustains the balance of life itself. The practice of receiving, if you want to unlock the full power of this law in your life, the practice of receiving is essential. The next time someone offers you something, a compliment, help, or even a simple thank you, pause for a moment. Take a deep breath, feel the gratitude rise within you, and say "thank you" with an open heart. Don't explain or justify your acceptance. Just receive. At first, you may feel discomfort, a resistance that comes from years of denying yourself the right to accept. But with each act of receiving, you dissolve the walls that have kept abundance from flowing into your life. As you practice this, you will notice something miraculous happening. The energy of giving and receiving begins to flow effortlessly, and the doors to abundance swing wide open. A final thought now: take a moment to reflect. What are the areas in your life where you have been holding back from receiving? What would happen if you allowed yourself to receive as freely as you give? The universe is waiting to shower you with its gifts, but first, you must open your heart and allow the flow to begin. The next time an opportunity, a compliment, or a gesture of kindness comes your way, remember this: receiving is not only a gift to yourself, but a gift to the world. It keeps the cycle alive, the balance intact, and the flow of abundance strong. Will you accept? Chapter 18. The Echoes of the Stream. The sun had barely risen when Jonah arrived at the river's edge, the world still steeped in mist. It was his daily ritual, this quiet communion with the flowing waters. The river, constant and ever-changing, had been his silent confidant for years. He spoke to it not as a mere body of water, but as an old friend who understood the weight of his thoughts and emotions. "I trust you," he whispered, the soft current lapping at his feet. "I know you carry everything, every memory, every secret." Jonah had lost many things over the years, one of them being the small silver pendant his mother had given him, swept away by the same river years ago. He didn't expect the water to return it, but he never stopped trusting in its wisdom. It was an unspoken pact between him and the world. Trust in what you can't see, and let the universe handle the rest. The timeless language of life. What Jonah didn't realize was that the river, in its mysterious depth, held more than just water. It held echoes of everything that had ever been. His words, his thoughts, all the energy he poured into that river didn't simply disappear. They reverberated, traveling through the currents of time, returning when the universe saw fit. This is the law of life that so many of us overlook, the power of trust and gratitude. We tend to forget that our energy, our words, and our intentions ripple outward in ways we can't always predict. We may not see the effects immediately, but they are felt. The universe remembers. It doesn't act on our demands or desires. It listens to our energy and responds in its own divine timing. Jonah's trust was not in vain. After years of letting go, after years of speaking his gratitude and sending his thoughts into the river, one fateful morning, his net caught more than fish. There, tangled in its fibers, was the silver pendant, slightly tarnished but whole, his mother's face still visible. The river had returned what was lost, not when he sought it, but when he had truly released it. The unseen forces of attraction. This is where the law of attraction becomes clearer. It's not about the strength of your desires or the urgency of your requests. It's about the quiet power of letting go and trusting in the unseen. It's about understanding that your thoughts, words, and intentions are not only ripples on the surface. They travel deep, finding their way to where they need to go. When you learn to release the need for control, you allow life to flow with you. Take Emily, for example. She was a pianist who had spent years pouring her heart into her music, yet she never asked for anything in return. Each day, before her students arrived, she would sit at her piano and simply give thanks. To the music, to the silence, to the space between the notes. She never requested more students, never sought approval. She simply acknowledged what was, and that was enough. And then slowly, things began to shift. More students appeared, drawn to the energy she unknowingly cultivated. Parents spoke of the magic in her teaching. Even her piano seemed to resonate with deeper tones, responding to the gratitude she silently offered every day. Emily's world transformed, not because she demanded anything, but because she gave thanks for what was already here. The secret of sacred exchange. What Emily and Jonah both learned was the same. True abundance comes not from demanding, but from offering. From acknowledging that the universe is already in motion, that life is already responding to us in ways we can't always see. Now it's your turn. Find a place in your life where you can begin this sacred exchange. It doesn't need to be grand or dramatic. It's as simple as taking 5 minutes each day to connect with the natural world around you. Stand by a tree, by a stream, or simply look up at the sky. Let your thoughts rest there, soft and still. Whisper your gratitude. Thank you for seeing me. Feel the power of being witnessed. You are not asking for anything in this moment. You are simply acknowledging the sacred flow of life that is always there, always waiting for you to tap into it. This is not a ritual of seeking. This is an acknowledgement that the universe is already communicating with you, that every word you speak, every thought you have, is part of a greater dialogue that's been happening since time began. As you start to recognize this quiet exchange, you open yourself to the mysteries that lie hidden beneath the surface of existence. You begin to understand that you, too, are a vital part of the vast tapestry of creation. The universe, in all its beauty and complexity, is watching, and it is ready to answer. Chapter 19, The Alchemy of Letting Go. What if the very thing you're chasing is running because you're chasing it? Across deserts, oceans, and inner landscapes, there's a hidden truth few dare to whisper. Desperation blinds the soul, but surrender sharpens the sight. Most spend their lives gripping so tightly to dreams that they unknowingly choke the very life out of them. Let me take you to the high mesas of Solana, a wind-worn plateau where an old seeker named Rowan spent years with a hammer in one hand and hope crumbling in the other. His boots wore thin, his hands grew raw, and every morning he shouted into the empty rocks, "Show yourself! I demand it!" But the cliffs gave nothing back. His fury only deepened the silence. It wasn't until Rowan dropped his tools, knelt into the dust, and whispered, "I no longer chase you. I trust you'll reveal yourself if you choose. That the miracle stirred. The very next rainstorm loosened a boulder near his camp, and tucked beneath its roots was a seam of gemstones, sparkling, unapologetic, waiting all along for the seeker who could finally stop needing them. The magnetic paradox life is not a vending machine you shake when it doesn't deliver. It's a living, breathing force, moved by faith, not force. Here's the paradox. The more you demand, the more life hides. The more you trust, the more life reveals. Neediness creates static. Trust tunes you to the quiet frequency where miracles broadcast their coordinates. A new story. The letters of belonging on the misty edges of a coastal village lived a weaver named Alara. Alara dreamt of finding a place where her art, her heart, and her future could grow. Yet instead of clawing at fate, she lit a candle each night and wrote small notes of gratitude to her unseen future. Thank you, sanctuary of mine, for waiting for me. I can already feel your walls breathing warmth. I welcome you whenever you're ready. She tucked each letter into a wooden box without urgency, without scheming. She simply believed. Months later, a distant acquaintance, someone she'd barely spoken to, offered her a forgotten artist's cottage perched over the cliffs, asking only that Alara tend it with love. The unseen world had been listening. It always does. But it speaks in the language of trust, not turmoil. The triad of effortless receiving to step into this hidden current of abundance. Anchor yourself to the triad of effortless receiving. Small blue diamond, release the grip. Replace frantic effort with surrendered focus. Imagine sending a bird into the sky, not trapping it in a cage. Small blue diamond, speak the language of welcome. Shift your inner voice from grasping to inviting. Say, I am ready to embrace what's meant for me, instead of I can't live without this. Small blue diamond, honor the pause. Recognize that the waiting period is not punishment, it's preparation. Trust is built not in answers, but in the spaces between them. Sacred practice. The daily invitation for the next 7 days, practice the daily invitation. Whenever you catch yourself saying, I need, immediately rewrite it. I invite, or I welcome. Examples. Instead of I need more clients, affirm, I welcome those who are seeking what I offer. Instead of I need healing, affirm, I welcome the full restoration of my being. Record these shifts in a small journal before bed. Notice how even your breathing softens, your spirit expands, and your desires begin to feel less like battles, and more like promises kept in the wings, waiting for your signal of readiness. The universe is not deaf to your dreams. It is simply waiting for you to loosen your fists and open your palms. When you stop chasing what you crave, you create space for what you're destined for to find you. The question is, are you ready to stop running after life and let life run toward you? Chapter 20. The Silent Architect of Wealth. What if everything you seek is already trying to find you, quietly, patiently, waiting for you to slow down enough to hear its knock? Most people believe success is built on hustle, noise, and endless proving. They are wrong. The greatest forces move in stillness. Wealth, opportunity, love, they are not bullied into your life by frantic effort. They are courted through unseen rituals, steady and sacred. Let me introduce you to Jonas, a stonemason in the forgotten village of Eldrin. He wasn't wealthy by any worldly standard. No grand home. No glittering awards. But those who knew him whispered that Jonas lived inside a blessing. Each morning before the sun breached the misty hills, Jonas would pause by an ancient oak near his cottage. He'd place a small copper ring, a family heirloom, at the tree's base, press his palm to the bark, and breathe 3 long breaths. No words. No wishes. Only presence. Over the years, Jonas became known for uncanny luck, timely opportunities, unexpected fortunes, effortless expansions. People said he was favored by fate. But they missed the truth. Jonas had aligned his inner world so precisely that the outer world had no choice but to reflect it. The unseen principle. Rituals rewire reality. Prosperity doesn't respond to pleading. It doesn't recognize urgency or effort. It answers to frequency. When you consistently weave private, sacred acts into your life, not to demand results, but to become the embodiment of trust, you magnetize everything you once chased. Consistency births inevitability. No one sees the seed split underground before it blooms. But without that silent breaking, no garden would ever rise. Across the fields, a different kind of signal miles away, in the coastal town of Lyric Bay, a young artist named Camille uncovered the same truth by accident. Every dusk, she would set a tiny lantern in her window, light it, and simply sit in its glow. Not wishing for gallery shows. not begging for recognition. Her silent signal was simple: I exist. I am ready. Months later, without networking, without seeking, Camille's paintings caught the eye of a traveler passing through. An invitation to showcase her work turned into a full-fledged career. Camille didn't claw her way into success. She welcomed it without noise. The triad of hidden creation to unlock the magnetic current of wealth and opportunity. Follow the triad of hidden creation. One anchor object. Choose something meaningful: a stone, a coin, a feather, anything that holds personal symbolism. 2 breath ritual. Dedicate 3 minutes daily to holding the object, breathing with full intention. Inhale, draw in abundance. Exhale, release control. 3 silent affirmation. No pleading, no plans. Simply embody the knowing. It is already done. No one needs to see it. No one needs to approve it. Your private alignment becomes your public breakthrough. Your future is not hiding from you. It's echoing the energy you send out when the world isn't watching. If you want the extraordinary, build the invisible structures today. Hold the ritual. Keep the breath. Trust the quiet. The architecture of miracles begins when you dare to move differently. Chapter 21. The naming spell. Reality doesn't respond to effort, it responds to identity. You don't chase your future, you name it, and then you become it. In a hidden corner of the old world, down a crooked alley paved with stones that remembered ancient footsteps, lived a man named Elias. To the outside eye, Elias was a simple merchant, selling tinctures and powders lined up in amber vials. But those who crossed his threshold sensed something deeper. It wasn't the potions that worked miracles, it was the way Elias spoke of them. One morning, a storm raged outside, rattling windows and flooding the streets. Still, Elias lit a single candle in the gloom and took a bottle of plain spring water. With deliberate breath, he sealed a label onto it: Essence of Triumph. The water hadn't changed, but something else had: the vibration surrounding it. When customers drank from this simple vial, they found promotions they hadn't dared seek, battles they had feared suddenly folding in their favor. Not because of the contents, but because belief had been activated. Elias had stumbled upon a hidden mechanism of the universe. What you declare with certainty, you command into existence. The hidden code: identity first, evidence later. Your thoughts whisper, your emotions hum, but your beliefs roar through the corridors of reality, reshaping it without apology. When you define something, yourself, your future, your chances, with absolute certainty, the universe reorganizes itself to mirror your conviction. Evidence follows identity, never the other way around. Across the sea, a writer's awakening. Meanwhile, on the misty cliffs of Cindermere, a young woman named Aloan sat at her battered desk, heart heavy with rejection letters. For years, she'd worn the label struggling writer, like a second skin. It clung to her, invisible but suffocating. But one evening, driven by a force she couldn't explain, Aloan tore the label off. She took her worn notebook and scrawled across a fresh page: I am an author whose words carve paths into people's hearts. She didn't beg. She didn't hope. She named it true. Within a week, an editor stumbled upon her forgotten submission, an old story gathering dust, and reached out in a flurry of excitement. The story hadn't changed. Aloan had, and the world caught up to her new declaration. New framework. The belief blueprint harnessed this transformational law through the belief blueprint. One, claim the name. Choose a single outcome or identity you desire. Example: I am a creator whose work leaves a legacy. 2, anchor with ritual. Stand before a mirror at dawn. Place your hand on your heart. Let your heartbeat sync with your spoken words. 3, speak as the architect. Say your declaration aloud with the authority of someone stating a fact, not pleading for a wish. 4, release the chase. Let go of needing proof. Your belief has already set the blueprint in motion. You are not a passive witness to your life story. You are the author writing it in real time. Every label you choose carries the seeds of its own fulfillment. Name your destiny boldly, fiercely, relentlessly. Reality will fall into line, not because you fought for it, but because you became it. The universe always answers those who dare to declare. Chapter 22. The signature of gold. True prosperity isn't earned by imitation. It's unlocked by unleashing your raw, unfiltered essence. In a sun-drenched loft overlooking the humming city below, a man named Rowan leaned over his cluttered desk, ink staining his fingertips and the edges of his sleeves. His trade was handwriting, letters, scrolls, announcements for grand events. For years, Rowan had obsessed over achieving flawless scripts, studying ancient masters, and replicating their styles down to the tiniest curve. But fate, with its sly humor, had other plans. It wasn't Rowan's perfect calligraphy that captured hearts and opened wallets. It was the pieces he created when he stopped trying so hard. When his hand shook slightly or his lines bent with emotion. Those were the works that stirred something primal in those who gazed upon them. His imperfection wasn't his weakness. It was his treasure chest. Your hidden currency. The irreplaceable vibration every soul hums with a frequency that can't be duplicated. And abundance. It listens for that sound, the raw, unfiltered signal only you can emit. Wealth is allergic to facades. It is magnetized to truth. The cracks, the quirks, the unpolished corners you've been taught to smooth out. Those are the fingerprints the universe is searching for. When you dare to reveal them, reality answers with doors flung wide open. A seamstress and the symphony of strangeness in a quiet village wrapped in misty hills, Maeve stitched gowns in a little attic room above the cobbler's shop. She had spent years tailoring dresses that mirrored fashion magazines, prim, pristine, predictable. And they sat untouched, gathering dust. Hidden away in a trunk were her real creations. Bold patchwork coats, dresses that clashed wild colors, textures that told stories without words. They were mistakes, she thought. Embarrassments. But desperation is a strange alchemist. One rainy afternoon, with her savings drained and her spirit frayed, Maeve displayed those secret pieces in her window. By nightfall, the door chimed. A traveling curator, enchanted by the reckless beauty of her work, offered Maeve a commission that would catapult her into renown. She hadn't found success by becoming better. She found it by becoming undeniably herself. New framework. The Golden Pulse method to activate your true magnetic signature. Follow the Golden Pulse method. 1. Unmask your essence. In silence, ask yourself, what part of me have I hidden out of fear it wasn't good enough? 2. Create without correction. Write, build, paint, speak, without polishing. Let your authentic energy flood into form. 3. Place it on the altar. Show it to the world without apology. Understand that your real wealth rides the current of your real self. You are not a project in need of fixing. You are a frequency-seeking amplification. The abundance you've been chasing already knows your song. It isn't demanding you to become flawless. It's begging you to become fearless. Sing your signature loud enough, and the universe will dance to your tune. In a world obsessed with perfection, authenticity is the loudest form of rebellion and the truest path to treasure. Chapter 23. The Silent Crown. How unseen power commands the world. Not every king wears a robe. Some rule entire realms without ever raising their voice. Imagine a crowded city square. Voices clatter, merchants shout, banners whip through the air. And yet, through the chaos, a hush falls over the crowd as a lone figure strides forward. He says nothing. He does nothing grand. Yet people part for him as if drawn by an invisible thread. What was it about him? Not his words, not his titles. It was his being, his unshakable self-possession that turned the world on its axis without effort. There's a hidden force few ever master. True influence isn't broadcasted. It's embodied. It's the silent crown you wear before the world even knows your name. The law of silent sovereignty. The universe responds to certainty the way rivers carve paths through stone, with steady, inevitable force. When you know your worth internally, the external world must mirror that truth. No explanations. No negotiations. Only resonance. Desperation leaks. Certainty magnetizes. The moment you stop asking to be seen, you become impossible to ignore. A tale of invisible power. Celine's quiet ascent. Celine was a gallery assistant in a city where talent was shouted from rooftops. At every event, ambitious artists competed to be heard, pushing business cards, demanding attention. Celine said little. She moved with quiet confidence, radiating the energy of someone who belonged without asking for permission. At an exclusive gala, while others clamored for the gallery director's time, Celine simply observed, present and still. Weeks later, it wasn't the loudest voices who got the director's call. It was Celine, offered not just a promotion, but her own curatorial project. Why? Because her silent presence spoke a truth louder than any pitch. I am already enough. Unlocking the silent crown. The AAA principle to embody the magnetic force of silent sovereignty. Live by the AAA principle. Small blue diamond anchor. Root yourself in the unwavering belief that you are worthy before stepping into any room. Small blue diamond arrive. Let your energy enter before your words. Focus on presence, not performance. Small blue diamond allow. Release the urge to prove. Let the right people, opportunities, and experiences flow toward you naturally. Your energy is the message you were never meant to shout for recognition. You were meant to radiate truth. When you stop chasing validation, you summon forces greater than anything you could manually construct. Doors swing open not because you knock, but because your silent sovereignty commands it. Today, wear your invisible crown. Speak only when moved by purpose. Let your energy carve the path before your footsteps ever touch the ground. Those who recognize true power will meet you there, without a word. Chapter 24, The Silent Architects, How Nightfall Builds Your Tomorrow. Reality doesn't happen to you. It listens to you, especially when you think no one is listening. Every night, as the world dims its lights and slips into dreams, a hidden workshop awakens inside you. It's here, in the unseen, that futures are quietly forged, not with force, but with the soft, electric brushstrokes of imagination fused with certainty. Few realize that the hours before sleep are not a pause in creation. They are the prime engine of it. Beyond dreams, the secret language of the unseen manifestation isn't some grand, loud affair. It's not about chanting, chasing, or straining. It's about alignment, a quiet, magnetic connection between your inner vision and the unseen forces that move matter. But there's a catch. You must not just see your desire. You must feel it, live it, become it, long before the world offers it to you. Your heart, not your words, writes the commands the universe answers. The story of Mira the cartographer. In a hidden village nestled between river and forest, there lived Mira, a cartographer known for mapping lands no one had yet discovered. But Mira held a secret. Each evening, she didn't just chart what was known. She closed her eyes and traveled to unseen worlds. She walked through lush valleys that had no name, touched the cool stones of cities not yet built, and tasted the winds of unseen shores. When others later stumbled upon these real places, astonished, they found her maps already waiting. Mira wasn't just recording reality. She was shaping it. The Nightfall Blueprint method. You don't need to wait for the world to catch up. You can pre-build your future in the hidden workshop of the night. Here's how to use the Nightfall Blueprint method. Small blue diamond 1. Close the gate. Before sleep, seal off the day's noise. Worries, doubts, what ifs? Leave them outside your inner gates. Only your vision may enter. Small blue diamond 2. Sculpt the scene. In vivid detail, walk through your ideal tomorrow. Smell it. Hear it. Touch it. Not like a beggar wishing, but like a king remembering. Small blue diamond 3. Anchor with emotion. Feel the triumph, the relief, the awe. Let your nervous system believe it's already real. Emotion is the ink that imprints visions onto reality. Small blue diamond 4. Release the arrow. Fall asleep with the image embedded in you, like an arrow launched toward a target already waiting. When you rise, the seeds will already be planted deep in the fertile fields of the unseen. You are already living tomorrow. Here's the truth most never grasp. You are already living in the residue of your old dreams. Every moment today is a delayed echo of the visions and feelings you once carried. If you dare to dream with conviction tonight, you alter the blueprint that reality obediently follows tomorrow. So tonight, don't just sleep. Command. Create. Become. Because when you master the hidden art of dreaming with power, reality itself must bow and reshape at your feet. Chapter 25, The Unseen Roots, How Quiet Acts Shape the World. Every kindness you offer, every unspoken gift, enters the world's invisible economy. What you plant, the world remembers. There is a power far beyond our ability to measure, a quiet force woven into the fabric of time itself. It doesn't call for recognition, nor does it demand celebration. It simply becomes an unspoken truth, carried through generations by the soft whisper of love and intention. The memory of the earth, how love transforms the land in a valley where the land was rich with secrets. Arnold, a quiet man of routine, carried an unspoken grief that neither time nor words could heal. Each year, on the anniversary of his wife's passing, he made the journey to the meadow that had been their shared sanctuary. In his hands, he carried not just a sapling, but his heart, wrapped in silence and reverence. He never spoke of his ritual. He never needed to. With each passing year, Arnold planted not just a tree, but a living testament to a love that refused to be forgotten. And the land, in its quiet way, remembered. As decades passed, Arnold's offerings transformed the land. What began as a single tree grew into an entire grove, a a sanctuary of living memories, of love quietly sown into the very soil. Those who ventured into its shade felt something profound, a healing presence, a sense of peace that seemed to settle into their bones. The world does not forget pure intention. The universe keeps an unspoken record of everything you give, and what you plant in love takes root in ways you may never see but always feel. The silent ripple. How quiet blessings change everything in a small town. A janitor named Maxine moved through the hallways of a school. Each night, as she cleaned, she paused at each doorway, pressing her hand gently against the frame, sending a silent blessing into the space. At first, no one noticed. But as the years passed, something began to shift. Teachers remarked on how the students seemed calmer, more focused, more compassionate. The air itself seemed to hum with a quiet, invisible energy that changed the very atmosphere of the school. Test scores improved. Conflicts faded. There was a new sense of harmony that everyone could feel, but no one could explain. This wasn't coincidence. Maxine's quiet, unspoken rituals had transformed the very fabric of the school. Her blessings had seeped into every corner, every room, every hallway, creating a ripple effect of peace and productivity. This is the power of unseen actions. The universe keeps perfect count of every act done with pure intent. Every silent offering, every moment of kindness, ripples outward, creating waves of change that transcend the immediate. No good deed is ever lost. It is gathered, nurtured, and returned to you in ways that stretch beyond your comprehension. The quiet offering. How to plant your own seeds of change. Imagine for a moment the power of your everyday actions, infused with intention and love. Every small act can create ripples of transformation in ways you can't predict. Here's how to make this invisible force work for you, using the sacred ripple practice. Small blue diamond 1. Act in silence. Every day, perform one act of kindness or service without anyone knowing. Offer a silent blessing before entering a room. Straighten a fallen leaf on a path. Clean the space around you, not for applause, but to create beauty where none was expected. Small blue diamond 2. Offer with pure intent. Let each action come from a place of deep love and pure intention, free from the need for acknowledgement or return. This is not about being seen. It's about being felt by the world around you. Small blue diamond 3. Release and trust. Once your act is done, let it go. Trust that the universe is taking note and will return your kindness in ways far beyond your understanding. Small blue diamond 4. Observe the ripple. Each evening, reflect on your act of service. Visualize it expanding outward, rippling through time and space, touching hearts and souls you may never meet, but who will feel the impact of your care. Your legacy of quiet power. Every day, you are planting seeds. Whether you see them grow or not, they are transforming the world. And just like Arnold, who never spoke of his ritual, or Maxine, whose blessings filled every empty corner of the school, your silent acts of love are shaping the future in ways that may never make headlines, but they will change lives. So today, ask yourself, what will you plant in the world that the earth will never forget?